Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Free Spoken with Allie and Amy.
Hello, hello.
All right. So we're going to jump right in, set some space here, and then we'll start our chat for today. So let's just take some nice deep grounding breaths and just releasing everything that's come before this moment and getting real present in the here and now in your body. We just call in any and only beings of pure sovereignty and benevolence who can be of assistance in today's session to be present with us here and now, to assist us and to work harmoniously together with us and each other to bring forward any healing messages or energy that be of the highest of the highest of the highest good. We ask that you bring it forward with clarity and ease. We create a sacred space within the ethers and around ourselves and around the people listening to this right now. Just bless them with all the support and love. Allow them to feel all the yummy vibes we have going on right now. And so it is. Thank you. And so it is. Thank you. And
Thank
so,
you, thank you.
yes. Awesome. So we were just talking a little bit about, let's see, we were talking about rejuvenation and, oh, you know what? Let's introduce ourselves real quick though, before we forget.
Let's help.
Okay. Okay, so my name's Allie. My business is Earthly Me. I've been a body worker for 19 years and a metaphysical channel for a little over 8 years. My passions are my kiddo and my fur baby, and helping my clients to rediscover their connection to their bodies and higher selves in order to empower themselves with some ways to care for their physical, spiritual, and or emotional health. I offer in-person body work in Humboldt County and the Bay Area sometimes. And I offer soul care sessions for the channeling virtually. So check out my links for more info and hit me up to book a session.
Beautiful. And I'm Amy of Embracing Essence, and I'm a quantum energy healer working with the amazing Ascension booster modality, a cosmic quantum energy. And I've been a healer for over, gosh, 8, 10 years. It's been a progression of different modalities. Um, and my passions are my family. I'm a wife and a mom of three, two teens and a 10-year-old, and also helping others discovering their just divine truth and love doing all creative art. It's endless. I love it all.
I love it.
So,
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. So we were just talking about rejuvenation and hmm. It's interesting. I feel like we've covered this before, but I had a friend call me just a little bit ago and she was talking about, I'm starting to awaken a lot to her energy, and she's feeling vibes from other people, and she asked for some tips and tricks of just how to keep herself protected and how to um clear herself at the end of the day of other people's energies. She works with clients in a salon. And so I actually just kind of want to touch on that really quick if you're cool with that.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I let's see, I've been doing this for I've been doing massage for 19 years, and we were taught in massage school how to about energy work. So I was 18, I was a little baby, and I had no idea about any of this stuff besides like my intuitive knowings. And but it has taken me almost this 20 years to get really solid with my energetic boundaries and protection and release. So I would say, I guess I'll start with what my daughter and I do. And I'm gonna post a picture of, I know we've talked about this before, but I'm gonna post a picture of the protection routine that we do every night. And this can be, there's multiple different ways. Everyone has a different way. Everyone has different energy. It affects everyone differently. So this is really just kind of for a starting point is to try one or two of these things that me and Amy throw out here and then run with it. Go with what feels good for you, make it yours. And then once you start doing that, you can tap in and get a little deeper into into creating your own, like throwing your own little piece into there.
Yeah.
um so I'm gonna actually pull up this little thing that I sent her real quick, so I can refer back to it. So the first thing that we do is call in our spirit team. So let's see, I put in here. So this is how we say it. I call in my angels, healers, and spirit guides and my higher self. Please fill me, heal me, and seal me in divine love and light. Only beings of pure sovereignty and benevolence who can be of assistance at this time are welcome in this space. So that's the first thing we do is we call in, and when I'm doing private sessions, I always call in the person's higher self. So that's also somebody you can just kind of envision kind of coming into your space as your higher self. Your it could be your spirit animal, like whatever you feel like calling in. And then we get into a bubble. We surround ourselves with we get our wow, we get into a bubble and fill that bubble with any color. So choose any color. It could be three different colors. It could be one color with some sprinkles on top. Or some fun glitter. It's really important to have fun with this part because whatever you see is what you're meant to have around you at that time. I firmly believe. Um, yeah. And then my daughter used to sing this song. She doesn't do this anymore, but there's a song that we learned long ago that helps with this. We send our roots deep into the earth from your heart space or your feet and connect to a crystal or symbol or grandmama Gaia. And then you send your roots from your heart or your crown chakra out into the universe and connect to the sun, moon, stars, or symbol of your choice. It could even be connecting to your higher self. And then my daughter used to sing this song called My Roots Go Down. So my roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. And then when she'd find that, she'd say, My roots go up into the sky, and so just if that feels good, especially with kids, nice to have like a little song to sing with it. And then filling I say fill, feel, and feel up. So pour in the love and light from the universe into your bubble. Pull in the colorful, magical, crystalline energy of the earth and the glorious purifying energy from God source universe into your bubble. Um, Allow yourself to feel the tingling, loving energy fill your beingness and seal up any openings. You can also inhale the love and light and exhale any negative energy out of your body to release it into the earth to heal and transmute. And then one nice thing to end with always is just gratitude and blessings. So thanking the divine source creator for surrounding me and my life in your pure love and light. I know that I am loved and protected. Thank you. And so it is. Thank you. And so it is. Thank you. And so it is. We add an amen because that's where that's our thing. So
Mhm.
that's the routine we have. That's a couple different things you can do. You can take one thing and just start with that, or all of it, or two things. And then, like I said, just kind of create your own from there. Do you have anything you want to throw in on that, Amy?
Yeah, yeah. I do this quite often and I love that. I use that at night with my youngest as well. Um, and not all the time. I need to get back in the habit of doing that more often with her. But I do a Cosmo with her. I do some sort of you know, calling in the energies and having her be present. I just really do like a mini session with her.
That's
But that
awesome.
also does encompass the shield of light, the field of light, field of love.
Yeah.
And when I go and I'm out and about, I used to be really, really sensitive to others' energies, like ultra, like like have physical symptoms sometimes. And it was like always astonishing me. Like, this isn't mine. What is this? When I would muscle test and I'd go through like quantum technique, procedures of questioning and muscle testing everything. And it would always blow my mind how sensitive I was. So I've gotten to the point where I'm going out and working out in public, and it's not so bad, but like I still do it anyways because it comes up in my field. Like guidance is like, okay, what about your bubble?
Yeah.
So at the gym today, I put up this bubble around me. It was like this impenetrable shield of light that I just visualized and it just intended that was there, and it was. So it was very quick, and that really helps.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, what about at the end of a day? What do you do when you're like, "Oh, I totally feel somebody's crap on me?" What do you do to clear yourself at the end of a day if you feel like somebody did get into your space or your energy?
My favorite thing to do is honestly take a shower. It cleanses my whole field. And then often I end up speaking light language because that often comes through. That comes through quite a bit lately, in the last few months. And it's just coming and yeah. So it comes whenever. And it moves through my being like rippling energetically through myself. And I just feel it like it's just an ancient aspect of myself. It's like helping me.
Oh my gosh, that's dope. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be
So
really
shower is very powerful too because it does clear your auric field.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, and then I'd say I have developed like different routines depending on different sessions that I do, or if it's just like, oh, I just went to the grocery store and the clerk was like, their energy was funky, and I just got to shake it off.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I would say if I'm doing energy sessions virtually, that actually tends to be when I feel because I'm really diving in and focused on somebody's energy. Um,
Yeah.
it's really, I found that it's really important for me to be able to release it and have like a different way of doing it. So, in that way, at the end of the session, call back my energy and send back theirs with love and light, and I call mine back with love and light, and just in such a loving way. Like I try to make sure that it's gradual and kind. I'm not snatching my energy back. And then just kind of clearing my aura space of anyone else's energy, because sometimes too, like I'll notice, like even if I don't feel their energy, I might feel somebody that came through for them like later in the day or later in the week, even I've felt before. So I really just am really I guess I guess I'd say I feel strongly about like claiming my sovereignty and like my benevolence, like who I am, and just kind of calling and being really strong about my energy, my divinity. And then if I'm physically with someone, it's just a very different energy, right? And this is also taken me this almost 2 decades of figuring out. But now, before I start each session, I take my deep breaths, I clear my energy, I fill my cup, and then I allow that last breath to overflow my cup into my client, so that they can feel the energy from source creator. And then at the end of each session, especially at the end of the day, because I was doing this after each session, and the end of the day I'm like, oh, I'm done, let's go. And then I'd have that just kind of lingering. And so now I do this at the end of the day, where I go and I literally clean from, I used to do from my elbows, now I'm doing from my shoulders. So I pull all the energy out from my aura and my entire beingness, brain, heart, root, legs, back, everything, my spinal cord, my nervous system, anything that's not mine. I put it in my arms and then I wash my arms. So kind of the same thing as the shower thing. Like I just do like a fast forward version of
Mhm.
that so that I don't bring it home with me.
Yeah.
Um and because I definitely have had that happen multiple times. And then and when I'm in public, it's really more of a bubble thing because I'm a lot more aware of it now. But if I have like, if I feel like later I'm like, oh, I must have picked up on that homegirl's energy because, I'm feeling funky now. Then I just take a moment to take deep breaths and kind of come back into my energy. And same thing, just kind of reclaim, okay, this is me, that was her. I'm gonna give her energy back to her in a loving way, in a kind, gentle way, and gently and kindly take mine back. And then same thing, kind of claiming my sovereignty and benevolence and divinity and taking those deep breaths. I feel like is everything though, like being able to breathe in me and source creator's energy and breathing out anything else that doesn't serve me, whether it be other people's or my own energy that doesn't serve me. um so yeah, those are my methods.
And that is beautiful. I mean, I just think this topic is so, so helpful for those that are just becoming aware of their energy bodies and how maybe energy is affecting them, like your friend. This
Mhm.
information is so vital.
Totally, it
It
really is.
it really is. It's like gold because when I don't know, I felt like I was struggling so hard
Yeah,
in this energetic realm without the tools to know.
yeah.
I mean, I would search, I would seek, and I would try things out. But it's just a practice that it's just you call I don't know. It's so helpful. I'm so glad that you're wanting to go back into this and talk about it.
Yeah, and it
But
really
yeah.
circles back to like what you had mentioned. We were talking before this, like, what are we going to talk about today? And just being connected with our bodies and realizing when something doesn't feel right, when it's not ours, or when it is ours, but we're so busy with this outside matrix ass reality that we don't tune in and we don't go within. We don't ask ourselves or our body, okay, what's going on? What do you need? Why you screaming at me, bruh? Because like that hurts.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that we don't, or that that we're forced through our childhood to ignore it, to toughen up, to not listen to the pain, when it's there for a reason. It's literally communicating with us, and we're taught to ignore it. We're taught to look outside of ourselves for the comfort, or for the answers, or um and it's really sad. And I think this is a big part of it, right? It's because we energetically take on this energy and it manifests itself physically, and then we're taught to ignore it, so we just keep going, and by the time we're waking up, we're so exhausted, we're so tired, and we don't know any tools to help ourselves push, not push through it, but to heal it truly, deeply. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, well said. And it's so true. We're like spiritually ignorant on purpose, like we're like trained to be spiritually ignorant and not know how to self-soothe and self-heal and be self-aware of everything that goes on within our systems and our body, mind, and spirit. And how they all gel together and it's trial and error. It's trying like as we trip through life, we kind of figure it out, right? It's like there are some cultures on the planet that have enhance this and encourage this and and then those cultures thrived and they're so communal based and supportive and loving you
Yeah.
know
Mm.
so it just goes to show like we're getting back there in this point in time. Everyone, there's humanity's rising and we're all remembering this element of self-care to come back to self and not looking outside of ourselves for answers, but looking within, being still and being aware of our energies and how to soothe them and nurture them.
Totally. Yeah.
Mm.
I want to mention one thing that like changed my life when I was going to massage school. And at the time I was 18 and I think I was, or no, I had just exited foster care. the foster care system. And one thing that I realized, we got this book and it's called Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Everyone has different theories. Like any healer you go to, any person who's awakened, everyone has their own unique path. And that's why this it makes it so much funner. Like it would literally be boring as hell if we all just went around to, oh, okay, oh, your back hurts here. This is how you heal it. Like that's just not how it works because it's different for everyone. It started, for some people it started energetically and then manifested itself physically, and for some people it started physically and manifested itself energetically.
Yeah.
So it's just so different for everyone. But Louise Hay has this book, it changed the way I thought about everything about the body. And I still very much believe that everything in our body represents something in our reality or our lives energetically. So you can look at the left side of your body being the feminine side of our energy. So that is receiving and allowing and flowing, and that very feminine energy. And the right side of our body is the masculine side. So very acting, penetrative, going, doing, giving, that kind of thing. And so and then there's specific spots, like if you look at, I don't know so many of them off the top of my head, but um like let's just say your neck. One of the things I know about the neck is, if you're having a hard time turning from one side to the other, having it can, just depending on so many different things, but it can represent having a hard time seeing others' perspectives or being open to other people's perspectives. In your legs, taking steps forward in life or allowing yourself to be in the flow instead of um, forcing your way through the existence and the experience that you're going through. Um, so just kind of asking your body when your leg hurts. And I think this is part of what is so awesome with the Cosma, in identifying this, right? Like when Amy's done a session on me before, feel I literally feel stuff in my body going on, and I'm super tuned into my body. I'm a body worker, so it's my life's passion. But it's so fascinating because I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't even realize that was there. Or now I feel this specific sensation or a specific color going through it. And so when you're that tuned in, when you're not, all it takes is sitting down and being quiet, shutting the TV and the radio off, and talk, like literally having a conversation. You hear something screaming, all right, what's up, hip? What you got going on? What do you need to tell me about? And letting it show you what colors are there, what sensations, what elements, and then asking it, okay, that I see this is what's going on. What can soothe it? So maybe it feels like fire and it shows you water, which means maybe you should ice it, or maybe it needs more fire. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing, but it doesn't, whatever it may be, like your body can tell you what it needs if you trust it to let it guide you. But we have been raised in a society where our coaches tell us, it's fine, shake it off, you're fine, just keep running through it. Like, nah, bro, like it's yelling at you for a reason. You need to at least just check in and make sure it's okay. Does it need anything in this moment? Maybe it just needs like 1 second to take a deep breath and allow the blood and oxygen to flow to that part of your body to help heal it. Like it literally could be something so simple, but we are just so disconnected. So I just think that's super, super helpful.
Yeah, yeah, I love that book too. And that's You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay is like a foundational book, like for
Right.
everyone that everyone out there that wants to know more about their energy bodies and their physical body and how they meet up, and communicate with one another, and being present with, yeah, what your body is telling you, and pausing. It's a practice. I mean, I think we're all doing that, various levels. Like a lot of us ignore. Like we hear something, maybe like a guide come in, or even a thought come in our head, that's guided. But we feel that's a clue.
Yeah,
Listen to the word and then take the breath, and just ponder on that, whatever the message is that's
totally.
coming through, because it can be so insightful and so helpful to get just that little shift in perspective. on how to fully or deeper understanding the issue that you're having, whether it be
Definitely.
mental or physical or emotional.
Yep. I also find it's almost like a gateway. I almost said gateway drug, right? It's like a gateway to connecting with our higher self. Because if you're not able to tap into this body and to respect this body enough to do what it's asking you to do, your higher self damn sure ain't gonna come in because there's no space for it to. If you don't lighten the density of this body or um make any choices to heal or clear the energy body here, this physical one, the higher self, which is pure source energy, can't come into a space that is that dense. And like I know for a long time, like, oh, it was so frustrating. I remember my higher self would come in and get to a certain part and be like, all right, that's it, girl. I can't go any further because you ain't done the stuff down there. And I'm like, dang it, really? Are you sure? Like, how about we just shove it in there? Like, I tried so many different ways because it was like months and she just couldn't go further. And I'm like, oh man, for real. And I would get so frustrated. And then, each like I started doing work on my lower chakras or lower part of my body, and now she's been able to come in even more deeply, and I still have never had her all the way within me, but man, I'm telling you, when she is all the way in like nirvana, there are no words to explain this. It's like what ultimate people ultimately want to feel this when they're um in a state of bliss when they either meditate or orgasm or whatever. Everyone gets their different ways, like at different times and to different levels, and but this man, just having her be in me and like knowing that that is a part of me and that I can tap into that, and it is a huge part of what made me so aware and awakened to these other beings, like feeling other people's energy and being able to decipher and almost like translate when I'm channeling this stuff, is because I can connect. It all started with my connection to my own body, with my own self. And so and I do know too, especially, with some of my friends who are very newly awakened or not awakened at all, that it's really, really hard to look at ourselves when we're not where we want to be, or we're just in a really hard place. A lot of times that's when people awaken and it's hard to look within when we're there, but that's when it's like the most important, and that's when you can see the things that are off and start doing stuff to fix it. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Oh, oh yeah. And then having that presence and patience and holding space for people when they're in that space of awareness of themselves,
Yes.
just to be, it's just beautiful. I mean, I
I
love it as well. And I love how the awakening process and getting to know ourselves better and better allows for more self-compassion, and we're being asked to be more compassionate with ourselves as we come to discover these aspects of self that we've outgrown, we don't necessarily need anymore, these ways of being that don't serve, and just allowing the release of them, you know,
yeah,
and the grounding and allowing in your higher self, like your like divine feminine aspects coming down, then meeting like the earth energies of where you're grounded into. And I just visualize, I had the coolest visual when you were talking, I had the coolest visualization of these energies meeting in the heart space. It's like two triangles that meet. Some of
yep,
them meet into the center
yeah,
of the tips, and then they just merge together. And that's like that nirvana feeling, that like
exactly.
homeostasis, that like oneness feeling you can feel. Um, but it's, of course, you have to call that in and be present and open and willing to get it rolling in that direction.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I'll never forget when she came into my heart space. It was because I had done this like alchemical union of my divine masculine and feminine. And that in itself was like a beautiful ceremony and time for me, realizing that I am both. I'm not seeking it outside myself. Long story, but she when she did come in there, I was like, oh, oh. And it's, yeah, it's just so cool to feel that inside yourself. And it doesn't, I mean, it takes a lot of work, but it really isn't work because it feels good and we're healing our souls as we do it. It's so crazy to me that, to that people still be like, oh, like even if some of my family, like hippie ass Allie over there talking all about
Yeah.
this spiritual energy stuff. And I'm like, man, y'all don't even know what you're missing. Like, I wish you knew. I wish you weren't missing it because you don't even know. And when you do, I'm gonna be there to celebrate with you because I don't have, we have a couple friends celebrating with us because we know, but even that, I'm just so happy to celebrate the people who haven't seen even a piece of it yet. We've been on this journey for so long, so many of us, and it's so fun to watch the ones that are awakening and discovering this connection to themselves that like we literally have been forced or programmed to believe is not real or isn't there. And then when we find it, we're like, what? This shit is crazy. Let's keep
Mhm.
going.
Mhm.
That's dope.
I know. It's just that old, just gaining different, increased levels of awareness. It's really all it is.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I love that you said earlier spiritual ignorance. I was like, bro, that's exactly. Yes.
it
Yes.
is. It's a nice way of putting it because
It
we
is.
don't know what we're missing until we know.
Yeah. 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 And it's crazy. It still just blows my mind that people think we're the crazy ones. And we're over here like, ooh, y'all don't even know yet though. Like when you do, it's all right. Come see about me
Yeah,
then.
I know. And
Um,
I used to be like a really like shouting from the rooftops kind of sharer
yeah.
in my discovery, as I was going along my newly awakened path, like I was finding one thing after another that was blowing my mind with just discovery. And I was wanting to share with everyone. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
everyone needs to know this information. This is like life changing. And then people were looking at me like I had three heads. And I'm like, oh, evidently this is not for you. But I'm like, but why? Like I was still in that mode of like, well, why don't you want to know this?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's not aligning yet. But when it does align, it's just pure magic.
Yeah, totally. And it's awesome too, just being who we are. Like I feel like with each step of this path, this journey, we've had to come, there's these two themes for me have been like trust and surrender. And it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, all right, I've trusted and surrendered enough. Nope, nope, a little bit more. Nope, nope, a little bit more. No, a little bit more. Nope, more. And then the other one
Mhm.
has been like our loved ones, right? Like watching our like the ones that we want to feel this bliss more than anyone in the world. Like there's people I'm like, all right, it'll be cool when you feel it. That's awesome, but like I want my loved ones to feel it more than anyone. I want them to feel their own love and their own bliss, their own um divinity. and
Mhm.
and it's so hard to just not to know that it's just not for them yet or right now or ever. It might not ever be that for them in this lifetime. And so just celebrating the little wins like when they get like a little when they get a little scratch of the surface, or celebrating the people that are opening up right now to it and just being like so grateful that there's more and more and more people opening to their own bliss and divinity, even if it isn't the people that we want the most. Like I know that like you're gonna help you or some other healer is gonna help my family more than I'll ever be able to in this lifetime because they can't hear it from me. And so that's been another theme, right? For a lot of us healers in this time. Oh my gosh, sorry, that's so annoying. They're construction in
It's
the background.
okay.
So loud, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally concur. And I love that aspect of how just a giant, huge family of light, and we're all sharing our information, and we hope it resonates with those around us. When it doesn't affect our like immediate family, we know I have friends maybe they'll listen to more than ourselves, and that's just the way it works. you know um I mean, for example, you just worked with my husband, and I could talk to my husband all day long about my stuff, and he doesn't really want to listen to my perspectives all the time, right? Like, he's his own person and I'm my own person, and we have varying like alignments with the spiritual realm, and I've kind of like drug him along with me. But like, he'll have a session with Ali, and he'll be receptive to hear new things different ways. It may have been the same thing, but it's differently said and it's presented a different way. You can receive it a whole lot different. It's phenomenal.
Totally.
So
Totally.
I'm just grateful for different perspectives that help us all expand.
Absolutely. I
Hmm.
It's so cool. Yeah, and just like all of us having different gifts, and using them in different ways with different kinds of people. It's amazing. Like, I'm so glad
Yeah.
because it makes this path fun. Like I said, otherwise it would be so boring. It was like, oh, your back hurts? Here, there's you. That's like
Yeah.
that's what I don't want to say the Western society, but like, medicine. It's like, oh, you have pain? Here's a pain pill. Boom. This
Yeah.
fixes everything for everyone. No, it doesn't. Like, it's their pain, it could be caused from a different kind of disc injury, or it could be caused from you know energetic, or you just have no idea. There's not one thing you can throw at everyone. That's why it's so important to be connected with ourselves. Like, if somebody's drawn to work with me, or to refer their friends to me, that's because they resonate with me. It doesn't have anything to do with um just anything besides their connection, their trusting, their discernment, and their resonance to approach something that can help them.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Deeply resonate. And that's what I think that's a huge, it's a huge tool to like trust your resonance,
Yes.
trust what you align with, like you're being pulled to, because
Mhm.
that's like your higher self, like leaning you in and like guiding you where to go. And it's like you just have to trust and allow and surrender into that direction that you're just gonna your best and highest good is in that direction.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
We know what's best for us. Everyone does. And that connection with ourselves just makes us able to trust ourselves, that connection, more and more and more and more, the stronger we build that relationship with ourselves. It's amazing.
Yeah, and leaning in and allowing that the nurturing of ourselves to occur, because I think we're all very hard on ourselves, to be not good enough, to not be far enough, to be not achieving enough, or whatever it may be. Because we all have this like, this little space inside of ourselves that maybe is injured from the traumas of life, literal inner child work. But that's where we have to go deep dive into to heal those aspects, to be able to nurture ourselves more and more and more until we feel that amount of self-love to allow the nurturing to even occur.
Totally.
Yeah. But
It's
my,
so interesting too that nurturing can again look so different for everyone, but it can be in so many ways. It can be drinking plenty of water because you've been dehydrated for so long. It can be making different eating choices. It can be taking deep breaths throughout the day. It can be anything that your body needs. It can be sitting outside just in the earth, or it can be specifically outside in the sun, drinking up that sunlight. Like,
yeah.
it can just be so different for not even from person to person, but from day to day. Like, when the sun's out, I am out there trying to drink it up as much as possible.
Mhm.
When and if my and that's why it's so important to listen to the body, because the body knows what we need. So if you're dehydrated, your body's going to let you know. And if you don't know the signs, if you're tired all the time and this and that, all the things that dehydration can do to your body, you're not going to know until you've been able to tap into your body and figure out what that feels like, what that looks like, what your body is telling you when those things are happening. So, yeah,
Mm.
that connection
Yeah,
is
my
so important.
exactly. But my favorite self-nurturing thing to do, everything you listed, perfect. And I think that be for all of us, right? Like drink, breath work, sunlight, drink more water. Those are all self-loving things. My favorite is to walk in nature,
Yeah.
going on a hike, going on a walk with the trees. It's just so amazing and it's just so resetting.
Yes, exactly. It is. And even then, sometimes you need to be by the ocean and sometimes you need to be in the forest and or on a mountain, by a river. Yeah, there's just so many different things that your body needs, but following that resonance within is crucial in your spiritual, mental, and emotional well-being.
Yeah, yeah. And the next best thing is also sitting with yourself in silence.
Totally.
That's another favorite, just to tune in,
Yep.
asking yourself what you need.
Yes, exactly. That's a must for me every day. I wish the nature thing happened more often. I wish that, my connection with the earth was more of a priority, but I also know that if I don't meditate, I can't do much of what I do. That's definitely my priority. And again, it's different for everyone. That's my gift. That's my resonance telling me what's best for me, but for other people it's best for them. Their meditation is going out and just even if it's only for like 2 minutes and putting their feet on dirt or grass or anything, sand, that is what is best for them. So just getting into a rhythm of doing it regularly and feeding our soul what it's asking for. So beautiful.
Yeah. A theme that comes to, or a mantra that comes to me like all the time is meditate to elevate.
Mm. Yep.
And that's speaking so poignantly about like how we connect. The more we are present in silent, the more we can receive. And the more you ask to receive and wait and like and just be open in receiving mode, that's when the downloads come in. Ask, you shall receive. It's
Yep.
pretty epic.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's super epic. I love that. Mm.
Well, that
Yeah.
about wraps it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel complete with that. That was good. Great conversation. I'm definitely going to send this to my friend who needs it. And I encourage you to send this to your friends who might need just a little one or two tips. Like, even if they take one or two things for them that really helps them get centered and find some peace within themselves. I hope that's my intention for this recording, that we can help some folks with some of these tips that we shared today.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for listening and look forward to chat with you the next time.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Have a blessed day. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.